Hi everybody and welcome to Arabic with Amina. In today's lesson we are going to be learning about the pronouns attached to verbs. Pronouns in Arabic can be divided into invisible pronouns which are not written in the sentence, mustatira, and they can be visible, which means they are written, bariza. These can further be divided into muttasila, attached, where they are attached to a word and not written alone, or they can be detached, meaning they are written by themselves, munfasila. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the attached pronouns. الضمير المتصل, or the attached pronoun, is a suffix that is always added to the end of the word. They are not written as a separate word in the sentence. The attached pronoun can be added to a noun, and that would make the pronoun a possessive pronoun, or it can be added to a verb, which would make it either a subject or object, or it can be added to a preposition, where it would be an object of preposition. And in today's video, we're going to be focusing on the pronoun attached to a verb. So first of all, what is a subject? A subject is the thing or person who performs the action of the verb. For example, she ate the cake. So our verb here is ate, and the person who ate is she. So the subject of this sentence is she. Well, what is an object? An object is the thing or person which was acted upon. So for the same example, she ate the cake. The verb is ate, but what was eaten? So the thing that was eaten was the cake, making the cake the object of the sentence. Now we're going to take the attached pronoun and add it to a verb, and we will be using the attached pronoun as the object first, or in Arabic, maf'ulun bih. Our verb is going to be ضرب, which is hit in the past tense. And then الضمير المتصل, or the attached pronouns we will be using are the object attached pronouns. And these are all of them. First person means the person who is speaking. Second person is the person that I am talking to. And third person is me talking about someone who's not present. And we are now going to apply the pronouns to the verb. So in our first example, we're going to say, he hit me. He hit me. And as we can see, our pronoun for me is the letter ya. And we're going to add it to the verb, and it becomes ضربني. As you can see, there's a letter noon between the verb and the pronoun. This is not part of the pronoun, but you can consider it to be so, because anytime you add a ya, you have to have a noon with it. So you could literally just consider it part of the pronoun, so it'd be noon ya. ضربني. Since the verb ضرب refers to a invisible pronoun, which is he, and that is a topic for another video, so the ضرب means he hit, and me is the ya at the end, the pronoun at the end. ضربني. Another one, we're going to say he hit you, and we're going to be talking to a male. So we're going to take the letter kaf, which is the pronoun for you, male, and it has a fatha on top. So it becomes ضربك. Now the fatha is important because it's what differentiates you, the male version, from the female one. We can see that the female attached pronoun is also kaf, but it has a kasra. So it is ki, whereas the male is ka. Right now we are talking to a male, so we're going to say ضربك, he hit you. If we were to say that he hit you and we're talking to a female, we would say ضربك. Our next example is going to be the plural female, and the pronoun is kaf noon. We add it to the end of our verb and it becomes ضربكن. And then our final example is going to be he hit us. So the pronoun for us is noon alif, na. And so ضربنا. So in this slide, we were talking about ضرب, which is hit in the past tense. Now we're going to be talking about the same thing. We are referring the pronouns to objects, but we are going to be using a present tense verb. It's the same verb, hit, but in the present tense. يضرب, he is hitting. So we're first going to say, he is hitting me. Again, we have to add the noon between the verb and the pronoun. So it becomes يضربني. He is hitting me. Our next example is him. He is hitting him. يضربه. Next, we are going to say them plural male form. So يضربهم, adding the ha mim to the end. And our final example is going to be you as a female. So يضربك. And that's it for the object pronouns. Now we are going to be talking about the subject pronouns. We're going to first start off by using past tense verbs. Now, when we're talking about the objects, the pronouns did not change according to whether the verb was past tense or present tense. However, when we are talking about a subject or the person who is doing the verb, it does change when we are talking in past tense and when we are talking in present tense. So now on to the past tense subject pronouns. Our verb is going to be sami'a, which means heard. And these are the subject pronouns used for the past tense verb. You can see we have all of them: first person, second person, third person. So now on to our examples. We're going to first say that I heard. And the pronoun for I is ta with a dhamma. So we're just going to add that to the end of the verb, sami'tu. And then we are going to say that you, the male, heard, sami'ta. Again, same thing for male and female. If it's ta with fatha, it is for male, and ta with kasra is female. So ta, male, ti, female. Sami'ti means we're talking to a female, you heard. Talking to two people, which is dual, is sami'tuma. You plural male, sami'tum. And for the you plural female, sami'tun. Now for the pronoun he, to say he heard, there's no pronoun for it. So right now our verb sami'a means that we are referring to he heard. There's nothing to add to the verb. Now to say she heard, we add a ta. But how do we differentiate between she and you female? Because they're both ta. Well, when we're talking about you female, as we said, it's a ta with kasra. So it's sami'ti. But when we're saying she, it's just a ta with a sukoon on it. So it's just ta. So it'd be sami'at. So you heard sami'ti, she heard sami'at. Talking about they in the dual form, sami'a. Talking about the plural male, they, the plural male, sami'u. And for female, sami'an. Now we're still talking about the subject, but now the verb we're using is in the present tense instead of the past tense, with our same verb, sami'a. However, the pronouns are different when they are in the present tense. So this is our table for the subject pronouns in the present tense. These pronouns are a little different because you add something to the beginning of the verb and then you add something to the end of the verb. And sometimes it's one of the either. So we're going to first start with I am hearing, or I am listening. Asmi'u. We add an alif to the beginning of the verb. If we are to say we are listening, nasmi'u. You the male, tasmi'u. You the female, tasma'in. You dual form, tasmi'a. You the plural male form, tasma'un. You plural female, tasma'unna. He is listening, yasma'u. She is listening, tasmi'u. They in the dual form, yasmi'a. They plural male, yasma'un. They plural female, yasma'an. You can notice when we're talking about the plurals. For example, we'll take the plural male form when we are talking to the second person you. So you guys. In Arabic it is tasma'un. But if we were to refer to a group of people that were the third person, meaning they're not here when we're talking, and we are referring to them, they are listening, it's the same pronoun at the end of the word. The only difference is the beginning of the word. When we're talking to someone face to face, we use ta, tasma'un. And if we're talking about someone in the third person, the first letter becomes ya, yasmi'un. And it's the same thing if you look for the you plural female and the they plural female. So that's an easy way to differentiate between, are we talking to someone, or are we talking about someone who's not here? Also, we may find both of these types of pronouns, the subject pronoun and the object pronoun, coming attached to one verb. So how do we tell which one is the subject and which one is the object, and how do we even connect both of them to one word? This is our verb, ضرب, which is hit. And this is our table that we were just explaining in the last slide for the subject pronouns in the present tense verb. And this is our table for the object pronouns, which we talked about in the beginning of the video. The subject of the verb is always attached first, and then the second pronoun will be the object pronoun. If we are to say I being the subject, am hitting you being the object. So we're first going to add the subject pronoun. The subject pronoun of I is alif at the beginning of the verb, and then the object pronoun for you is kaf with a fatha. So that will be added to the end of the verb. أضربك. I, which is the alif. أضرب, I am hitting. أضربك, I am hitting you. Okay, let's take another example. Let's say you, which is a plural group of males, are hitting her. We're going to first add the subject pronouns. So we're going to say تضربون, and then we're going to add the object pronouns, which is ha alif, making it تضربونها. Now we're going to be doing the same thing, but we're going to be talking about past tense verbs. So we're still going to take our verb ضرب, hit, and this is our table for the subject pronouns in the past tense, and this is our table for the pronouns of the object. Our first example is going to be that we hit him. So we're going to add the subject pronoun first, ضربنا. Then we're going to add the object, which is him, which is a ha. So ضربناه, we hit him. Now as for adding pronouns to the past tense, there are two exceptions which do not exactly follow the rule of just take the subject pronoun, add it, and then take the object pronoun and add it. There are two exceptions. The first one is using they, plural male, which is waw alif, and we're going to use the same object, him. So our sentence is going to be they hit him. First we're going to add the subject, ضربوا, and then add the object, ضربوه. Now the exception here is that when we have a subject and an object using the they plural male form, the alif is not written. So we're going to take away that alif. So it's still ضربوا, but the letter alif is removed. Now our second exception to this rule is when we are using the second person you plural male pronoun, which is tum. And we're just going to keep on using the same object, him. The poor guy keeps on getting hit. So our sentence here is you hit him, and we are referring to a group of people, a group of males specifically. So you hit him, add the tamim, ضربتم, and then add the ha, which is him, ضربتمه. Now, unlike the previous exception, we are not going to remove a letter, and instead we are going to add one. So between the subject pronoun and the object pronoun, we are going to add the letter waw. So the word becomes ضربتموه. And those are our only two exceptions to this rule. Now I know that was a lot of information to digest, so we're going to try and put what we learned to the test by having a little quiz. For our first question, I want you to say, I ate the apple. This is the word bank. Ate is akala, and the apple is at-tuffah. And this is a table for subject pronouns in the past tense. So take a moment, pause if you'd like, and put together the words so you can say, I ate the apple. Okay, so now for the answer. I is ta with a dhamma, so we're going to add this to our verb. أكلت التفاح. أكلت التفاح. That's how we would say, I ate the apple. Moving on to our second question. كلمني. Word bank. كلم means talked. This is our table for the object pronouns. And the question here is, who did he talk to? Did he talk to Muhammad? Or did he talk to Fatima? Or did he talk to me? Here is the letter ya, which is at the end of the verb. And if we go to our table, we can see that the ya means me. Again, we put the letter noon because there has to be a letter noon between the verb and the pronoun me. So who did he talk to? He talked to me. Another one, سمعوها. Our word bank, سمع, which was our example in the video, means heard. This is our table for the subject pronouns in the past tense, and this is our table for the object pronouns. So the question now is who heard, or who is the subject of this verb? Is it Muhammad, Sam, and Ahmad? Or is it Fatima, Maram, and Hiba? Or is it us? Well, we know that the subject pronoun always comes before the object pronoun. So that would be the wow here. Now, the wow refers to they, the plural male, and we removed the alif because that was an exception to the rule. And so the answer here is going to be this group of males, Muhammad, Sam, and Ahmed. Now we're going to take the same word, but we're going to change the question. The question now is, who did they hear? Did they hear Muhammad, or Fatima, or me? Well, since we are referring to the object now, we know that the second pronoun is always the object, which would be the ha alif here. And if we go to our object pronouns table, we can see that ha alif means her. So who did they hear? They heard her. And since we are referring to a girl, that would be Fatima. And that wraps up our lesson for today about attaching pronouns to the verbs, whether it be a subject pronoun or an object pronoun, and whether the verb be in the present tense or in the past tense. I know it was a lot to digest. I really hope I made this topic easy for you. If so, please do like and share, and do subscribe for more videos. Comment below, do you have any questions? Did you get the quiz right? Love to hear from you. Thank you. See you next time. Arabic with Amina.